Hey dear students, welcome back to e-learning platform of TS College of Commerce Varda. This lecture is for the BCom 6th semester for subject Advanced Statistics and I'm Assistant Professor Rajeshwari Sharma. So as far as the subject is concerned, here we have started with the first unit, that is correlation analysis. So till now we have seen the different concepts under this topic, correlation analysis. We have seen the meaning of correlation analysis. So thereby we have seen that correlation analysis is a tool which helps us to study the relationship between the two variables, right? Then we have seen the different types of correlation. Then we have seen the concept of coefficient of correlation, and then for the sake of interpretation, after calculating the coefficient of correlation, we have seen the degrees of correlation. Okay, so in today's lecture we are going to see some important rules of correlation. So these important rules of correlation will help you to check whether your answer that you have calculated by applying a particular formula is true or not, is accurate or not. It will help you to recognize whether you're doing the things rightly or you're going wrong somewhere. Okay, so let's see the rules of correlation. Once you have calculated the answer, so you can check whether these rules are being fulfilled or not. If any of the rules from this are being violated after calculating the coefficient of correlation, so you can interpret that your answer is wrong. Okay, otherwise your answer is correct. So let's begin. Rule number 1 over here is the answer of correlation must be in decimal point. So here you can see that the rule number 1 says that answer of correlation must be in decimal. Okay, like it can be 0.17, it can be 0.55, or it can be anything. Okay, but it must be in decimal. And one more thing that we need to keep in mind is that your answer of correlation must be between -1 to +1. Okay, so here you can see that the first rule says that the answer of correlation must be in decimal point. The rule number 2 says that maximum answer of correlation may be 1. Okay, so the rule number 2 says that whatever answer you have calculated, whatever coefficient of correlation you have calculated after applying the given formula, their answer that you have calculated should not be more than 1. Okay, it might be less than 1, it may be between -1 and +1, but it can never be more than 1. Okay, the third rule says that if answer is more than 1, then it will be wrong. Now just assume you have applied the formula, you have calculated the coefficient of correlation between the two variables, and now your answer comes to 1.5, 2, 3, 2.5. Okay, so in this cases it will indicate that whatever answer you have calculated is wrong. Okay, because in coefficient of correlation, in correlation analysis, your answer for coefficient of correlation can never be more than 1. And if it comes to more than 1, so it is the indication that whatever problem you have solved is wrong. Okay, the fourth rule over here is if answer is 1, then it will be called as perfect correlation. Now you have calculated the coefficient of correlation by applying the formula, and you are getting the answer as 1. So here you can interpret that, you can derive the conclusion that there is the perfect correlation between the two variables. Okay, now what the perfect correlation refers, it again refers the perfect relationship between the two variables. Like if the demand is increasing, if the price is increasing by 50%, so demand is declining by 50% only. So in such case you would get the answer as 1 in coefficient of correlation. Okay, so if you are getting answer in +1 or +1, so you would say that there is perfect positive correlation, and if you are getting your answer is -1, so you would say that there is perfect negative correlation. So this way 1 refers to the perfect correlation. Okay, the rule number 5 over here is if answer of correlation is in plus, then it will be called as positive correlation. Like if your answer of coefficient of correlation you are getting plus 0.17, plus 0.55, or any number between, or any number in plus, okay, which is less than 1, so you would call it positive correlation. Then rule number 6, if answer of correlation is negative, so it's called negative correlation. So if your answer is in negative, once you have applied the formula, you have calculated the coefficient of correlation, and thereby you have observed that the answer is coming to minus 0.17, minus 0.55. So in this cases you can refer that your whatever answer you have calculated is in minus, so you can say that there is negative correlation between the given variables. Okay, like if you have calculated the correlation between the price and demand, and thereby you observe that when the price increases by 50%, so demand declines by 50%. So I have told you, you would say that there is perfect negative correlation. Okay, so this way, if your answer for the coefficient of correlation is coming in the negative numbers, there are the negative there are answer for the coefficient of correlation in negative, so you would say that there is negative correlation between the two variables. Okay, so these are some very important rules of correlation that we need to keep in mind while solving the different numerical problems. Okay, so that it will help us to check that whether whatever numerical problem we have solved is correct or not. It will also help us by giving indication that whatever answer we have calculated is correct or wrong. Okay, so these are some important rules that we have to keep in mind while calculating the coefficient of correlation. The second one, the next thing that today we are going to discuss is different methods to calculate coefficient of correlation. So in our syllabus, as far as our syllabus is concerned, we have been given two methods in our syllabus. First one is Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation, and second one is rank correlation. So firstly we will deal with the different types of problem under the Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation, then we will move towards the next method, that is rank correlation. So when we talk about the Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation, so let's see the formula that we have to apply for calculating the Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. So what is the formula? Here you can see the formula on your screen, that is R equals to n into summation dx dy minus under bracket summation dx into summation dy bracket close upon under root n into summation dx square minus summation dx whole square into again under root n into summation dy square minus summation dy whole square. So this is the formula for calculating coefficient of correlation by using Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. So when you see this different variables, different things, so you find that formula is bit complicated, but once you understand the interpretation of the different terminologies which are given in this formula, so you will find that formula is quite easy, and you will also understand that how to calculate the different terminologies which are given under the formula. So let's see the meaning of different terminologies which are given in this formula. So here R, a small r represent the Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. The next thing is sigma. So here the sigma refers to the summation of all numbers which are given in the problem. Okay. D refers to the deviation. Deviation is also known as distance. We will see how this D is calculated while we are going to see the numerical problems. Then the another thing over here is dx, whereby dx indicates the deviation from assumed mean of x series. Okay. So how this dx is calculated? So it is calculated as x minus a, where a refers to assumed mean. So while we are going to start with the numerical problems, thereby we are going to see the different series. Okay, like x series and the y series. Then I will tell you how to calculate dx from the given series. Then the next thing that we are going to we have in the formula is dy. Dy means the deviation from assumed mean of y series. like we know, while calculating the coefficient of correlation, we generally have the two series. Okay, so y series refers to the another variable, and how we are going to calculate deviation from assumed mean of y series. So the formula for this is y minus a, where a again refers to the assumed mean. So while seeing the numerical problems, I will tell you how to calculate this dy. Okay, then another variable is there in the formula, that is summation dx into dy, which refers to the total of dx into dy, because summation refers to the total. Then the another component which are given in the formula is n refers to the number of items. Okay, number of items which are given in the problem. So this way, these are the interpretation of the different terminologies which are given in the formula. For your knowledge, I have given you the meaning of all the terminologies. We are going to see the calculation and the detailed description of this terminologies in the numerical problems when we are going to solve the numerical problems. Okay, so this is the interpretation of the different terminologies that we are going to use to calculate the coefficient of correlation, while we are going to use the method of Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation for calculating the coefficient of correlation. Okay, so first of all, we are going to start with the simple type of problem. Okay, so as far as this Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation is concerned, here I'm going to give you the three types of problems. Okay, that is correlation in simple series, correlation in group series, and then we are going to see the correlation in three series. Okay, so here when we are going to see the problems, we are going to solve the numericals. So I will divide it type wise, like type 1 would be related to the simple series, type 2 would be related to the group series, type 3 would be related to the three series. Okay, but when the questions would be given in the examination, so thereby you won't get the type name. Okay, you have to recognize what type of problem is given. So you have to understand what type of problem is given. So when we are going to see the numericals, so you will also be able to recognize what type of series is given to you in the problem. So when we are going to start with the first problem, that is correlation in simple series, so there you have to prepare the preparation chart. Okay, it's going to be the chart like this that you can see on your screen, whereby first of all you would have the x variable. Okay, in problem you would be given two series, that is x series and y series. So here in first column you can see x, thereby you have to write all the values. Okay, which are given in x series, and in n you have to write the total, means how many values are given to you in x series. Like if you have been given 10 values in the x series, so n would be 10. Okay, then you would have the dx, so you will calculate dx by using the formula, that is x minus a. So when we are going to see the numerical problem, so you will see how the dx is calculated. Okay, then you will have the dx square in the preparation chart, means here you have to take the square of this dx. Like here the 2 is written, so you have to take the square of 2, that is 4. Okay, then you would have to write all the variables which are given under the y series. Okay, in here in y, and again if you are having 10 variables in the y series, so n would be 10. If you are going to have the 9 variables in the y series, so n would be 9. Okay, so this way in y you have to write all these things. Then dy, again you have to calculate the deviation from the assumed mean of y series. So when we are going to see the numerical problems, I will tell you how this dy is calculated. Then dy square, again here in this column you have to take the square of the numbers which we have written in the dy. Okay, dy column. Then in last you have the dx into dy. So here you have to make the multiplication of these two columns, that is dx into dy, and at the end you have to take the summation of this dx into dy. So this way you have to prepare a preparation chart, and from this preparation chart you are going to get the value of different terminologies that we have in our formula of calculating Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. Okay, and once after getting all this value, after putting all this value in the formula, you have to make the calculation, and then you are going to get the coefficient of correlation. And then after that, after getting the coefficient of correlation, you have to interpret the answer. You have to recognize what kind of correlation is there between the two variables, what's the degree of correlation is there between the two variables, on the basis of the knowledge that we have gained in the previous lectures. So for today this is done. In next lecture we are going to start with the numerical problems. Till then, you guys keep studying. In case you are having any doubt in any of the topic, just ask me. Okay, so you can WhatsApp me your doubts, you can call me as well if you need. So keep studying guys, stay hungry for the knowledge. Thank you.